Oh my god.
What we were doing.
So this is definitely a big challenge for me.
What have I gotten myself into, goodness Lord?
I decided to start an experiment. After years of taking the safe street, I'd give myself 1 year to see what happens if I actually try to build my dreams. Despite the doubts. I've been writing stories and dreaming of becoming an author since I could hold a pen. But somewhere along the way, I let others write my own story for me. So it was time to become the author of my own life again. I thought I'd start with a clean page. Instead, I got a bunch of messy plot twists right away.
But more on that in a moment.
Welcome to the first episode of Dreambuilder Diaries. A 1-year, action-based, science-backed video series in which we explore the question, how much can we change in a year if we courageously pursue our dreams? We have 12 months left. And by the way, hi, I'm Svenny, like Sven from Frozen, but with an I. I'm starting this journey in autumn, my favorite season. The season of change and letting go. And I don't mean the autumn outside. You might be watching this in winter, in spring, or in summer. But what I mean is the autumn inside, the season of my soul. As cheesy as that might sound. It's time to shed my old leaves like the autumn trees. So that's what I'm gonna do in the next 3 months. And I hope you'll do it with me. Maybe you have a dream in your heart too. Or maybe you don't know what the hell you want, you just know you want to change. Either way, we'll get to something that works for both. And we can all start with letting go of what doesn't serve us. For me, it's people-pleasing, my fear of not being good enough and giving all my energy to soul-sucking jobs instead of what truly matters. But the first thing I needed to let go of wasn't what I expected. And it all happened
Because of this book.
But let me explain. Chapter 1: Plans and Plot Twists.
Here's the truth.
When I started planning this experiment, the first monthly theme was called
Goal-getters.
I wanted to do what almost every productivity book tells you to do. Set a shiny goal, make a plan, track progress, hit milestones. Because that's what you do when you're serious about your dreams, right? So I designed a whole workbook filled with classic science-backed tools. Smart goals, habit trackers, progress charts, deadlines.
I thought that was the way to go.
But something about it felt forced, fixed, like I was writing the ending before the story had even begun. Rigid, time-bound goals may work great for corporate projects and for some people, but for my own messy, unpredictable journey, they just didn't seem to fit. I had backup plans for my backup plans, and still, life happened. I've noticed that so many times while building this series, or
writing my book. And one of those times is now. As you can see, I'm still editing episode 1, and it was supposed to go online a few days ago.
So let me tell you how plans turned into plot twists and plot twists into perspective changes. Spoiler!
It's gonna get really messy.
In our first monthly segment, the monthly mess.
Who made that mess? You did, Kate.
The part of the experiment where I stop pretending I have it all together and share everything that didn't go according to plan. I had the launch of this first episode planned out like a perfect Excel sheet, because I refused to accept that this whole chasing a specific goal thing just didn't work for me. I mean, it was backed by science. It had to work, right? So I planned harder, controlled more. But the harder I tried, the more life pushed back. It wasn't an Excel sheet. It was more like a Game of Thrones episode, full of plot twists, just a little less bloody.
Wow.
First, one event after another popped up right when I wanted to finish the episode. And then one technical disaster followed the next. Within 1 week, I crashed Dumbledore, my drone, lost the drone controller, which cost me way too much money, like my bank account cried a little, and one SD card with footage just vanished. Then the drone started recording only blurry shots, so we had to send it in, and of course I couldn't shoot the cinematic moments I had planned. So I rented a drone to capture some last perfect autumn shots with some autumn leaves. I found the perfect place, and guess what? A noisy leaf blower blew away the leaves, and some workers turned my dreamy setting into a chaotic mess. So, again, life blew my plans away. Literally. And not just the technical stuff fell apart, I did too. And I don't just mean my mind or mood, I mean quite literally. Like, I tried to film some aesthetic swing shots at a beautiful but ice-cold autumn lake and fell.
So apparently letting go also means letting go of drone controllers, SD cards, and deadlines.
And your dignity at the lake.
I honestly can't believe this just happened to me.
And honestly, if I started listing all the other things that didn't go according to plan, it would probably fill a whole Harry Potter book. These were just the most recent highlights. Of course, it wasn't all just bad luck. I could have planned better, sure, but I did all I could with what I had at the time. And the rest, I just couldn't control. Still, not having that control made me anxious, frustrated. But messy moment after messy moment, I almost started to relax. Another roundhouse kick from life? Alright, bring it on. Until at some point I thought, what if this messiness is actually part of this journey? What if I just embraced it? Because what's an experiment without a few explosions, right? And life really seemed to want to emphasize its point. From the very beginning, my vision for this series was to make it evergreen. Something that would stay meaningful no matter when someone watched it. But all this time I was chasing the perfect timing, wanting all the autumn-themed episodes to come out right in autumn. And then, amidst all the chaos, we ended up staying in a place in Germany that I hadn't even booked. Its name? Evergreen. Okay, got it, life.
It's ironic because now that I'm cutting this episode, which is all about letting go of perfect plans, life wants me to do it again.
And it wasn't the first time chasing a goal felt like a trap. I once had the goal to become a singer. I joined TV shows and did everything I thought I should do to succeed. But over time I realized that dream wasn't really mine. It was a version of success I thought would make me loved, accepted, enough. But it felt like I'd been climbing a ladder that was leaning against the wrong wall. So I started to wonder, if rigid goals don't work for a messy, unpredictable journey like mine, what does? How do we build our dreams? How do we decide what to work on when the future is uncertain and the plan keeps changing? And then I found this book, Tiny Experiments by Anne-Laure Lecomte. And this brings us to our next monthly segment, Science Meets Story, where we mix research with real life. Meet our Scientist of the Month.
I'm Anne-Laure Lecomte. I'm a neuroscientist and the author of Tiny Experiments, How to Live Freely in a Goal-Obsessed World.
And she opened my eyes to why the whole goal-setting thing had felt so wrong. Here's what I learned. Traditional goals are built like ladders, step by step, always climbing towards some shiny distant end. Maybe that's why it's called climbing the corporate ladder. But life isn't a ladder. It's more like a loop. You try something, you reflect, you learn, you iterate, and then you repeat. Or maybe like a labyrinth. Sometimes you hit dead ends, sometimes you don't know which turn to take, and sometimes the only way to find out is to walk it. And Anne-Laure invites us not to fear life's uncertainty by trying to control everything, but to flirt with it. Instead of obsessing over perfect plans, she suggests we make tiny experiments. Instead of chasing goals, she suggests we make pacts.
Which I define as a commitment to curiosity. I will insert an action or insert a duration.
Instead of saying, I must finish a book by June the 15th, she suggests we say, what happens if I write for 20 minutes a day for a month? So the focus is on the process, not the outcome.
The only goal a scientist has is to learn something new. If by the end of the experiment you collected new data and you learned something new, whether it's something new about the world, about your work, or about yourself, then that's success.
And after the experiment, you decide how you deal with that data. Do you pause the experiment? Do you pivot and try a new approach? Or do you persist and keep going? If you already have a dream, this approach will help you to get started and figure out what really works for you and whether you even really want it in the first place. And if you don't know what you want yet, you don't need a 5-year plan. You can just start with something you're curious about and discover your way into it. And that changed everything for me. Because for the first time ever, goal setting didn't feel like pressure. It felt like
possibility.
So the first thing I needed to let go of was my need for control, my craving for certainty, my desperate pursuit of perfect plans, and my fixed view of what building a dream should look like. Instead of one shiny goal for the year, I decided to make 12 powerful pacts. 12 tiny experiments to discover what truly works for me. And I'm not the only one. There's Jia Zhang, who did 100 days of rejection just to see what happens when he faced his fear of no. Julie Powell, who cooked every single recipe from Julia Child's cookbook in 1 year and turned that into a best-selling memoir. Nas Daily, who made a 1-minute video every day for 1,000 days and turned it into a global community. And Anne-Laure herself, who wrote a newsletter every day for 100 days and turned it into her famous brand Neslabs. And there's more. Each of them made a pact, not with perfection, but with the process itself. And that's what I want to explore this year too. So it's time to make our first pact.
And if you want to join in, you can download the exact worksheet I'm using for free in the description below.
Of course, our pact doesn't have to be as huge as making one video every day for 1,000 days.
We can start small.
So, ask yourself, what are you curious about?
What's a hypothesis you'd like to test?
I already have a meta pact for the year. I will complete 12 monthly creative experiments to explore what it's like to pursue my dream of becoming a YouTuber and author for 1 year. So I have like one big experiment consisting of 12 tiny ones. And there's only one rule. I have to finish this year. Even if nobody's watching, even if nothing works, even if I mess up all the time. Because that's what this tiny big experiment is really about. Finding out what happens when I keep going, through the doubts, the failures, and the setbacks. But what's my first monthly pact? Well, here's what I'm really curious about. What would happen if for the first time ever I'd really try to publish a book? I've written 4 books and never tried to publish a single one. Basically, I'm a story squirrel.
Squirrel. Like, I love the animal, but I hate the word.
I gather books like acorns and stash them away where no one can find them. For years, I kept waiting for my book to be perfect, before even thinking about sending it to literary agents. But here's the thing, in all those years of writing, my books never actually became perfect.
Wow.
Shocking, I know. And after draft 1045, I started to think, what if this perfectionism was actually holding me back? With my latest book, I keep wondering, what happens if I actually try?
Here's my situation.
I've written it, I've edited it, I've taken feedback, but it's not ready to send to publishers yet. Not just because I don't feel ready, but because it literally doesn't meet the submission requirements yet. The problem? I'm not sure how to take those last steps. So this month, my hypothesis is simple. If I understand what agents are really looking for now, I can shape my book better before I send it out later this year. So this month, I'm treating it like an investigation. My first pact is simple. For 30 days, I'll spend 1 hour each day digging through agency submission guidelines and refining my book proposal. Okay, let's be honest, this pact isn't the most exciting, but it lays the path. It's like stretching before a marathon, and it actually taught me much more than I thought. And my next pact will be much more exciting. Little spoiler, it fits the autumn theme perfectly. It's gonna be Halloween level scary.
You'll find out in the upcoming episodes.
And speaking of marathons, in the next episode I will talk to someone some call the Marathon Man. And we will learn things that will help us a lot for this year and for the upcoming pacts. Whether your dream is to write a book, start your own business, run a marathon, travel the world, what's one small action you can take every day to get started and experiment? This month is about laying the groundwork, about showing up before you're ready.
Make sure you write your pact down. Somewhere you'll see it every day. Because research actually shows that writing down your commitments makes you far more likely to follow through.
And here's something even more powerful.
Share it. Because when you share your pact and your journey, it creates accountability, connection, and momentum. And the best of all, others get to grow with you. So, if you're in, drop your pact in the comments below. And if you want to, you can send a video or a message to my mail, which you can also find in the description. I would love to feature your pact and your story in a future episode, because this isn't just my journey, it's ours.
And to really keep us on the right path, we'll get to our next monthly segment, Words of Encouragement, in which I ask and pick wise people to encourage and advise us. This time with Anlor herself.
Instead of fearing uncertainty, we should learn to collaborate with it. What that looks like is seeing uncertainty as an opportunity for learning and from growth. When there is no uncertainty, when we know exactly what we're doing, that means we're not growing anymore. So we should actually seek uncertainty, embrace it, and every time we face it, saying, hello, welcome back, let's work together. All scientists know that real growth requires both trial and error.
The closing page. A short diary entry with my final thoughts. Dear Dreambuilder Diary, maybe growing up isn't about giving up wonder, that curious, childlike mind that sees magic in the unknown, but about giving up the illusion of certainty and perfect plans. Your whole life can be a happy childhood, Martha Beck writes. In a world that constantly tells us to be efficient, to be strategic, to be right, what if our greatest power is actually to wonder? So this year I'm gonna follow my curiosity compass.
And I really hope you do it with me.
So if you've got a dream waiting quietly in the background, this is your permission slip. Start small, start scared.
Just start.
You don't need a perfect goal, just a tiny pact, and we'll build from there.
Together.
There will be ups and downs, storms and sunshine, moments of falling down and standing back up. But whether this adventure will lead us to glorious heights or insightful setbacks, let's enjoy the journey together. Are you ready? I'm not, but I will start anyway. Because what's coming next will be worth it.